Hello and welcome to Dream Team Coach TV, brought to you by Betway. I'm Andy Taylor and joining me today is Nick Elliott, Jack Townsend and our resident Spurs fan, Graham Marshall. Cheers for joining us, lads. Coming up on this week's show.
Bit higher.
Oh! Little one of them, was it?
Yeah.
Is the quad on then? Is it on?
Is the quad on?
You can't believe it. I don't know, on paper they're not a bad side. Like, they've not got bad players
Doesn't
in
matter,
there.
it's football played on paper though.
Who would have thought Handy Andy was handy?
Oh dear. Straight down.
Oh! Arsenal are really justifying the first four letters of their name these days with a string of really bad performances. Why else do you think Sean has fled the country? They lost the North London derby so resolutely that Mikel Arteta had to push Thomas Partey back onto the pitch. Graz, I'm going to come to you first. Is this Arsenal team the worst you've seen? And are you, as a Spurs fan, the most confident you've ever been facing Arsenal?
Yeah, absolutely. I have had to grow up knowing that one fact was true, and that was that Arsenal were better than Spurs. In my lifetime, Arsenal have almost always been better than Spurs. They've won the titles, and we haven't. They've won most of the derbies, and we haven't. But for the first time, I really went into that game thinking, I mean, we're not going to lose. I mean, they were putting crosses into the famously, not scoring many headers, Lacazette and Aubameyang. Was it 3 out of 77 of Aubameyang's goals have been headers? And that seems to be a tactic from Arteta. I don't know what you guys think about whether that's the way forward for Arsenal.
Well, yeah, like when you have a team that aren't like scoring goals and they have loads of crosses, it always seems as like endemic of like, oh, you've run out of ideas type thing. But like crosses can be done well, like Reece James and Giroud in the last couple of weeks, or Trent Alexander-Arnold previously. Like there is ways of having crossing as a key element of your attack and doing it well. But when, like you say, when Arsenal were doing it like quite listlessly, like some of Tierney's crosses is actually very good, but like you look at the movement and anticipation in the box, they seem to be second to everything. It's like, well, it doesn't look like you're going to score a goal that way, because even when Tierney's getting the delivery spot on, it just looks so easy for whoever, Dyer, Alderweireld, or whoever they've been playing the last few weeks.
I think it's unfair to say it's the worst Arsenal team ever. I think they've, on paper, I think...
What's worse?
I don't know, on paper they're not a bad side. Like, they've not got bad players
Doesn't
in
matter,
there.
it's football played on paper though.
They've had Arsenal teams have finished in the bottom half in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Have they been this low though before?
Didn't they finish like 12th one year or something?
Do you think they will finish any higher than that though this year, based on what they're...
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It depends how long it
moment,
goes on
yeah.
for.
I mean, we can't say, it's too early to say it's the worst. If they finish like bottom half of the table, then it's a debate. It's like, you see, the whole Spurs thing, they're top of the league now, but can't say they're going to win it yet because it's still the first quarter of the season. Yeah.
Okay, let's put that on hold for a minute as it's time for this week's 4 to Score challenge. Our sponsor Betway has set us a chesting challenge this week in honour of Conor Cody's horrible chest at Anfield. I don't know if you saw that, I definitely did. The challenge is simple. We have to chest a ball into a target that gets further away with each attempt. Whoever gets the most in, wins. Oh! Little one of them, was it?
I mean, I'd be very annoyed at a player on my team if they drop to their knees to chest it. Okay.
Loopy throw.
Nothing, you need nothing.
Oh! I scored them.
Let gravity do its
Let gravity do its job, okay. Right. Okay.
Oh, see, that's close.
Right. Oh, I've had a good go.
If I've learned anything, it's get to your knees quick.
Yeah. Straight down.
Oh! Get in there.
Ready?
Yep. I mean, the direction was right on it. Oh! You've got that one as well, haven't you?
Who would have thought Handy Andy was handy?
Oh dear. Oh, it's me.
Oh! Too much on it.
Oh, hello. That would have been amazing.
Oh! I've hit the post every time.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Needed to put
One step back, that would have been perfect.
goes. Oh, he got down to it!
How close is that? Oh, another cliffhanger. Stick around to see who wins this week's 4 to Score challenge. But for now, back to the football chat. I think the most concerning thing for me is that we've got players of real quality not doing something. You know, if you look at a team and they just don't have anything, and you think, well, the easiest solution is we just bring in 3 new strikers. But the problem that Arsenal have got is that they have those strikers. Like if they were struggling for goals and Aubameyang was at Dortmund scoring 30, I'd be like, go and get Aubameyang. And they can't do it. So, I mean, what is the resolution? I mean, we just sit here week in, week out going, let's get rid of Ollie, let's get rid of Arteta.
I think you look at their Europa League performances. I know obviously the opposition are not as strong, but they just look like, because it's mostly the kids, it look like they're just having much more fun playing, like, and it's more open. At this stage, with them 15th, having just lost the North London derby, I don't think there's anything to lose with going, right, Willian, Lacazette, you're not starting because it's not working, and no one should complain about that. And throw in, you know, or like give Willock and Reece Nelson or whatever, all these guys a decent run in the team, because I know you say Europa League, you can't compare it to Premier League, but they're scoring loads of goals and they're just playing with much more freedom. The other thing as well is that they got little things happening, like the party thing, where like if you're doing well, that thing can be like, oh, that's a bit weird, or like maybe that wouldn't have led to a goal and he just gets brushed off. But when things are going bad, that sort of thing happens when a goal is scored. Like, in fact, when you look at that, kind of papered over the cracks of that, because if you look at that position, there's nowhere you could have put Partey in that would have gone, oh, that would have completely stopped that situation. Like, it was 5-on-4. It's still with 5. You shouldn't be left 5-on-5 suddenly like that with Son and Kane anyway. So, or Bellerin's foul throws. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're top of the league, if Serge Aurier was doing that, and I wouldn't put it past him, it would kind of be like a bit of a laugh, like, oh, Aurier's a foul throw. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But when you're struggling and you're like, he's done 5 foul throws this season. Yeah. You're like, come on, mate. If someone was playing at under 12s, you'd be like, all right, 5, that's enough.
Can't move on without talking to you about how good Spurs actually do look, and they look very good. How good are they though? How far can Spurs go as a Spurs fan?
I mean, obviously, I'd love to get carried away. I really would, but I'm pessimistic. You know, I'm a pessimistic Spurs fan, and I think that the real test.
Do they exist?
The real test is going to be that Liverpool game. You know, that's a huge game in our season, because Liverpool, for all their injuries and for all that everyone's been like they can't do it without X player, Y player, everyone, they are continuing to do it, continuing to beat teams, good teams. You know, they played really well last weekend. If Spurs beat Liverpool and the players that we've currently got fit stay fit, it's not unreasonable to suggest we'll be at that end of the table, is it?
Oh, look at him on the fence, mate. How many splinters in your?
Oh, a few. But it's because, I mean, look, I've never been in this situation as a Spurs fan.
What? You have?
No,
Close to winning it. Yes,
not where I've been this certain that we're playing well and that we're getting.
So this is the best you've ever seen. The best you've ever seen.
This isn't the best I've ever seen us play. This is the most likely to win games I've ever seen. Under Pochettino, I think we played much better football in that season that you're talking about, the Leicester winning season. There were games where we absolutely obliterated teams, and it was absolutely, you know, jaw-droppingly exciting to watch at times. We were playing really good passing football. We're playing a very different style of football now with Mourinho. I think everyone can see that.
Where it's gone wrong, obviously, for Mourinho in recent years, and we've hammered him for it on this show, which I think was fair. It was obviously like the last year at Chelsea, the last year at Man United, when he's kind of it's negative football and there's almost no goal condition. Where at least here, there's a very obvious goal condition in that he's reliant on Son and Kane, right? And he is heavily reliant on them, but that's at the moment it's fine because they're both in such brilliant form. There's no harm in saying, like, you know, I can do that. There's justification for the tactics because they're playing that well. The only thing is that Son's like numbers are kind of indicate that it's not sustainable. Like, it'd be freakish if you look at the Prem's top scorers, right? Like Calvert-Lewin, Kane, Salah, Bamford have all had like roughly 40 shots this season, and Son's had like 20 or 21.
And just keep scoring them.
And like Son scored 10 goals from 13 shots on target this season. And like Wildcat said, there's two ways of looking at that. One, incredible finishing, which is true, and all the players do it. Second, you're probably not going to keep that up because that's not how football works.
So Mourinho's got like the knack for winning trophies, coming into a side, winning trophies. Where do you think Spurs' best opportunity to get trophies this season.
You're in the quarters of the EFL Cup, right? Against Stoke?
Yeah.
So you almost...
Not guaranteed a semi, let's not do that.
Yeah, but if you're looking at where your best opportunity is, beat Stoke and you're into the last 4 of the year.
Yeah.
Is the quad on then? Is it on?
Is the quad on? No. Although the scary thing is that I did briefly just go, I mean, yeah, why not? Like,
one of us needs to edit this because we can just edit out the bit. No, just say,
Okay, it's time for the memes. Each week our panellists submit a meme to our Dream Team Instagram page and you guys get to vote for your favourite. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, get on over there now and give us a follow. Right, who's up first?
I think it was Jack's first.
Jack?
Yeah, let me get it
A
up.
Danny Dyer clip.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this one. I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
What have I got myself into? I am f***ing myself.
Quite route one, but you know, Arteta having to make a tactical decision without Pep, and he's obviously himself.
Yeah.
And like,
moving on to Nick.
I think it's...
Well, mine was a very similar theme, also down the Guardiola Arteta theme. I just wanted to hit that theme, and then when I saw that someone else had gone for the same theme and did it better, I thought, oh, that's me done.
And then finally on to me. Now, this is a weird one because usually I don't know the results. I can see how I've done here. So I've got a bit of a poker face at the moment.
Yours was the Spotify, was it?
Yeah, mine was the Spotify, done by Graz though.
Yeah.
I liked it. Graz, one of your ones, like your subs that you do for me, that's one of the better ones.
It was the right, it was the only week that you could really ever do a meme like that. I felt like it kind of hit the weekend's narrative of, please, for love of God, let Harry Kane be fit for a lot of Spurs fans, which was obviously going through my mind.
Okay, in third place with 279 likes. It's not a great week, I'll be honest, lads. The likes are really low.
Thanks.
In third place is Nick with 279.
Fair.
The person in second place was only 10 better.
Oh.
But the winner is Jack Townsend.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only video
I'll give you that.
actually was the best though as well.
Yeah.
It was the best,
Yeah.
And you can't deny Danny Dyer.
No, you can't deny.
This weekend we've got the Manchester derby as 5th place Man United take on 6th place City. Now the Reds are in good form at the moment, winning the last 4 Premier League games, although they did crash out of the Champions League. But they don't want to do a home alone and forget about Kevin this Christmas. Alright guys, so despite Man City's wealth of talent, have United got enough to win this game this weekend? And also, have they got enough to finish above them this year in the league? 2 very big questions.
I think 2 very different answers, probably, you'd think, because based on form at the moment, in the league at least. So for this weekend, yeah, Man United can absolutely win that game. It's just one game. But for the season, you'd surely back City to finish above them, wouldn't you?
all depends what their aim is. Pep's been brought in to get City that Champions League. That's always been the one that's escaped him. And I just feel like maybe that might be where their focus is more so than the Premier League this year.
He's taken his eye off the league in the hope
I wouldn't say he's taken his eye off it, but there's a strong argument for maybe that's where he's putting his eggs. That's the basket he's putting his eggs in.
like it, yeah.
Regards Man United though, why do I feel like we are really underplaying how well they're doing in the league? Now I know they've crashed out of the Champions League, really poor tactical performance from Solskjaer. I mean, Angelino had, the freedom of the entire pitch for the whole night.
Man City should buy him, looks good.
Yeah, he does look decent. Why have they not been given that credit for their performances in the league? Because I think if they win, they go, is it level on points with first place?
Chelsea.
The game in hand, they go level on points to Chelsea.
Yeah.
2 points off the lead.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I think their recent run, of which, as you said, they've won 4, is good, but like it kind of encapsulates the whole question that's been around Man United for the last 2 years. Like, how good are they actually? Because if you look at the games, well, the West Ham one, for example, they were so bad in the first half, got absolutely battered. Like, probably the most one-sided half we've seen in the Premier League this season. And they ended up winning the game, so it's like, that's a win. The other one, Southampton, similar kind of thing, got battered in the first half, ended up coming back and winning it. So yes, credit for obviously coming back and winning it, but like, every time you see someone play that bad for half a game, you kind of think, oh, well, there has to be a caveat there of like, I don't know, results are the most important thing, but
Yeah, but didn't they do that? I've seen that under Fergie countless times. Even Southampton. I remember Van Persie having to score a hat-trick when they were 2-0 down against Southampton. And everyone was like, it's just United. They get it done. And now it's like, well, United are shocking in the first half.
The thing is, though, under Fergie, like, they had a reputation for like coming back and going to the 90th minute, scoring late goals and all that, which is true. They also just dominated loads of games, but that doesn't. Do you know what I mean? They just won loads of games full stop, and whether that was dominating from the start or coming back. Also, like the idea of like kind of like Solskjaer's 200 IQ play of like, what does a good manager do? Is thinking like, what happens and people think that's a good move? Bringing on a substitute that changes the game. It's like, well, you shouldn't drop your best player. So he's like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop our best player. We're going to play terribly for 45 minutes, hope that West Ham only score one of their 5 clear-cut chances. Then I'll bring on Bruno, who will be brilliant because he's our best player and everyone knows that. And then we'll win the game and everyone will be like, what a change by the manager. Except no one fell for that because it's like, well, don't really think that's what you should be doing, mate.
And regards United crashing out of the Champions League as well, there's 2 ways of looking at that, in my opinion. Because you could argue, all right, they've gone out, poor performance, but Spurs aren't there, Arsenal aren't there. So, like, at least they've got to that position to get out. I mean, at the end of the day, Spurs and United right now, European speaking wise, are literally the exact same boat.
Well, I think going into this season, or like finishing last season rather, that was considered a success because they got Champions League football. The fact they've thrown that away now because they've been knocked out at the first opportunity or whatever. Surely that already the season.
Yeah, I know, but just look at the difference in how we're speaking about things, right? You're in the Europa League and you're top, right? United are in the Europa League, and if they win their game in hand, are only 2 points behind you. And we're talking about United being like one of the worst sides we've ever seen, and Ollie's got to go. And yet, literally, the difference between you and United right now is 2 points.
Well, you're assuming they're winning their game in hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've just won their last 4, and they were decent
results.
No, yeah, I so why wouldn't they?
5 points off is still not a bad, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think it speaks to the sort of expectations of a lot of people, not just Man United fans, of what Man United are going to be like. You know, there is this expectation because for so long they were, like you say, dominating sides and winning all sorts of games, that will still be happening now. But, Solskjaer's form is not, that different to what it was under Moyes, like Van Gaal, like anyone who's managed United since Fergie. Is this just, Man United's level now? And is that fine? Like, if you're a Man United fan, do you just accept that the group stages of the Champions League and then, they could go on and win the Europa League. Who knows? Like, it's a whole season ahead of us now where that would be then a success, right? Because they've won a European competition.
I don't mean it's not all doom and gloom, So like, when the criticisms, it's more just like because of the, in the same way we say those first half performances are terrible, it's only fair to say the second half performances are brilliant. And like, I just think when it comes in regards to Solskjaer, it seems a lot of it is like, and maybe this isn't fair, maybe you could say the same thing about City, but it seems that the individual brilliance of a few players is getting those results. And maybe you could say the same about De Bruyne or whatever. What
do you reckon your top 4 looks like now at this point? What would you say at the end of the season? What do you think the top 4 would be?
I'll go Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Spurs.
Ouch.
Spurs 4th.
I still think that'd be all right.
See, look at that. See, that's a man who thought you were going to say Spurs winning the league.
It's not that.
That's exactly what that face was.
For me, it definitely would have been...
Champions League football, 4th place. You've got to be buzzing with that.
Oh, yeah,
You're not buzzing with it, though, are you? You're thinking, we're winning this. That's what
You finally got out of him,
yeah. When you first said it, I thought maybe we could get a second, but then I knew that wasn't going to enter into it. I do think that over a full season, and like you say, we are... looking at that table with games in hand for big teams that, we expect to be up near the top. Man City are always going to be able to go the distance. And that's what I said about Spurs is the criticism. So, yeah, I'd still say City.
I think for the good of the Premier League, I'd like to see like Chelsea and Spurs finishing above City would be good. Just because City and Liverpool, we don't want it becoming too much like a
bit of a dynasty.
Real Madrid, Barcelona situation where you have only 2 possibilities of winning the league.
If I am going to push you for a result, if we're going to have a little dabble with Betway, give me a result, Graz, please, for City United.
I think it'll be 2-1 United, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack?
I was going to say 2-2, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got a draw written all over it.
2-1 City.
So we all think both teams to score.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, why not?
They've both got goals in them, haven't they?
Is this the time to mention Nigel Winterburn as well? cast your minds back. He said the one thing he can guarantee is a Xhaka yellow. And I actually can't believe he didn't get booked before that.
In the first minute almost, when he rugby tackled Harry Kane at one stage.
About 3 times he did it.
I thought of Nigel when the moment it happened. I thought, fair play.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, we can't finish the show without seeing who won the 4 to score challenge. It was on a knife edge between myself and Jack, so let's go and see how we got on. Oh, that's me done.
You can't believe it. How many times have you hit that?
Oh, see, distance was fine.
There we go. I've had a try. There he goes. Level it.
You've actually come really close.
That was it. That was the moment.
Oh, well done, Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
Okay, that's it. I've won the 4 to score challenge, which means I'm the best at chesting a softball into a bucket. Better at chesting than Conor Cody as well. Cheers for joining us, lads. Oh, look at it! First take. Well, that's all from us, folks, on another episode of Dream Team Coach TV, brought to you by Betway. Thanks to all my guests, as usual. A big weekend of football ahead, but for now, I'll speak to you again next week.